Welcome to Momentum Monday. Today is May 12th, 2024. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers watching, probably like 2% of the viewers.
Little Ivanov has a mother.
Yeah, I do. I mean, in Bulgaria, today is not a Mother's Day, it's a different date, but yeah, I called her either way.
Today's Run from the Bolsheviks Day. Isn't every day Run from the Bolsheviks?
I don't know, Howard. I don't know that part of history that well to comment on that. So,
All right. All right, Ivan. Well, what you do know is swing at me. What do we got?
last week was consolidation week for the big indices. You can see here the QQQ was basically going sideways for the most part, but digesting constructively above its 50-day moving average. So it's potentially setting up for a breakout here. It could be a false breakout, but nevertheless, it's setting up for a breakout. S&P did a little bit better since there was some sector rotation outside of tech that's been helping the S&P to outperform lately in the past couple of weeks. Small caps have been on the rise. Obviously, the recent pullback in interest rates is helping. And especially last week when we got that unemployment report came above estimates. So higher unemployment than expected, which, this is what the market kind of wants to hear. Even though it might be a bit contrarian because it just improves the odds of a rate cut happening a bit sooner this year. That's why we've been seeing small caps outperforming. That's why we've been seeing regional banks setting up potentially here for a breakout, and financials in general they're probably alongside energy and semiconductors are the best performing sector year to date. Semis, they look similar to QQQ, just consolidating above the 50-day. We got TSM, which is the biggest white label manufacturers of smart chips in the world. On Friday, they reported their sales data for April, and it was 60% year over year and 20% month over month. That's April over March. So definitely there is a big comeback in the semiconductor industry. I don't know if it's driven only by AI and maybe some other fields as well. But this is why we saw this big breakout on Friday. I mean, this one is it's a big company. It's like almost $1 trillion company.
Yeah.
And, they make the chips for everyone, for Apple, for NVIDIA, for AMD. So it's really, when we see them reporting such growth, obviously that means that their clients, at least some of their clients, are having similar growth. Obviously, I mean, NVIDIA potentially is among them, setting up here in a tight range for a potential breakout right ahead of its earnings, which are next week, May 22nd. And I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a rally attempt ahead of earnings. Who knows? It might happen, it might not. But in my eyes, now that we have those strong TSM numbers, now that we had that strong number in the previous quarter, I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of chasing ahead of earnings, but we'll see. It's a huge company. It's a $2.25 trillion company, so it's not easy to move if they're eager sellers. And the other big name that is that I'm paying attention and I own is MU. They got upgraded last Monday, had that big gap and then just went sideways, kind of setting up here for a potential test of their previous swing high near 130.
This is a good tape for you, and I like that trade for you. I don't like, I can tell when you're looking at something like that, that's going to work. Be surprised if
you never know if it's going to work, but obviously.
No, I said the odds look good there. I like the
we have a tight range, so you can risk a little bit, enter with a tight stop. So it's.
Are you using options or the stock?
Both.
Okay. It's a good summary. I think that if we take a step back, though, the big story of this year is biotech, you know, I think, well, the big story, the big story is software, right? Like AI is kind of crowding out software. This doesn't look horrible, just going nowhere, looks top. But if you look at Snowflake, you look at Cloudflare, this just valuation compression. Like these are incredible companies. Mongo, Cloudflare, Shopify.
Yeah, Shopify was
This isn't just your
completely
stock picking. This is the market
destroyed.
saying, well, this is the market saying we're looking at other stuff, right? Like I say, Goldman and Google, right? Google has a
Yeah, gold
direct
broke
AI.
out. Yeah, good points.
Yeah,
They
so I really like
bounced.
gold. No one's talking about it. Everybody still talks about crypto. I really like Goldman. It's already had a great run, so don't chase it. I think it's straight up. And you know, I was talking about this here in the 300s, and then I'm like Google, right? You got great coverage. It's kind of a representation of what the S&P should look like if it had more, you know, metals exposure, commodity exposure. And then the XLE is just kind of biding its time. Exxon, you know, those couple good days and that looks good. Exxon also.
Oh, excellent.
So
Okay.
it's a different looking market, right? Like software, which led for 10 to 12 years, you know, and look at even Apple. Apple threw in the towel and said ChatGPT may get integrated. See, Apple has all that leverage. Everybody's short that it doesn't have an AI play. Of course, it has an AI play. They're going to put everybody on the mobile phone. And while you're fighting them about the App Store, we all know that the game's moved to the wall, to Apple Pay and to AI, and Apple and Google are the lead guys there. You know, Meta is working, but it's just, I wrote about it this week. I've never had more spam. I don't use the product, but yet I've got thousands of fake Howards out there doing crypto scams. They're just, I hate this company, but I think it's Apple, Google, NVIDIA. Now, below the scene, biotech. There are billion-dollar companies. There's billion-dollar rounds right now for biotech companies. The old head of science at Genentech just started a company, raised $1 billion. Forget the name, it's a private company. What's the XBI and IBB doing?
I mean,
So the big caps aren't doing it. It's all in the small cap. It's all in the small
they're
cap.
not doing much, yeah.
Because of the market caps, like Amgen doing fine. So I think it's in the small caps that the biotechs are going to really benefit. Amgen looks great.
Yeah.
So it's stock pickers market, I would say, still Ivan.
Definitely. I mean, you
This is
mentioned
your
gold,
market.
also a few other metal stocks like copper related are looking good, potentially setting up. Here we have FCX. This is a weekly chart setting up for a potential breakout here on a multi-year base. I mean, they have exposure to both gold and copper. Then the other one is a Canadian company, Teck Resources, just broke out from a very long base and is just slowly gliding above its rising 50-day. Obviously, these are not good swing trading candidates. They are more like trend following stocks. Teck
Wow,
and
that looks
FCX.
great.
You just have to be
How's
willing
that?
to, you know,
That looks
to use a
fantastic.
wider stop. But
What's the month? Yeah, I mean, that looks
this is the monthly,
unbelievable.
and this is FCX, kind of looks similar. So these are like, for me, these are like multi-year trends that, you know, if you want to participate, those two stocks are probably slower movers, but you know,
They could gap and go.
good way to participate.
Yeah.
And restaurant stocks have been extremely strong the past 2 quarters, and so far this quarter, all of them gapped up on earnings. Here's one, SG, second big earnings gap, probably extended probably to
What's the monthly look like?
Well, it's a relatively new stock.
Beautiful. It's basically an all-time high.
Yeah.
Congratulations. What's the market cap? 4 billion. Congrats.
3
So there's a lot of $2 billion stocks going to become $10 billion companies.
Yeah.
That's
And
basically
the whole industry has been really strong. Here's, you have Texas Roadhouse. This is the weekly, obviously making new all-time highs. You have CMG, which is the best.
I don't think I've even seen one in my life at Texas.
Me neither.
Okay.
CMG, which is like the best performing restaurant stock of all times, again gapped up on earnings, setting up new all-time highs. Wingstop
Wingstop.
also, continue to make higher lows, higher highs. They're a
Just funny.
bunch of them.
Everybody's watching Tesla and the Magnificent Seven, and you just got this incredible
Yeah, there's
surge.
definitely been some rotation into less popular names that are doing
The other
pretty
thing,
well.
the other thing that tech's going to do well on is, like, you can see infrastructure, right? Like
Yeah.
construction, real world infrastructure. So three you can pull up as Eaton. I think it's got great moves.
Okay.
ETN. Yeah, should be on everybody's list just in terms of infrastructure, right? These are the guys going to be building out redoing the data centers, and there's Quanta Services, PWR. Again, these are how you're going to have to watch how the market and talks of recession. But if you go look at these things, just incredible trends. And then a third one that's on my list is NVT, Invent Electric. Again, no one talks about, there's probably no followers. In the education space, NNI broke out. So again, it's just, my whole watch list looks different. Look at this thing. They're basically just a scam loan company. I shouldn't say scam, because they control student loans. At the same time as Biden's forgiving student loans. I don't know what.
Have you seen this one? BLDP?
Ballard?
No, another one. It was Blue, the ones that make buses for.
Yeah, Blackbaud or Bluebird?
Yeah, Black something. Either way, I mean, they basically doubled year to date and near all-time highs because they voted like a $5 billion program for renewal of the school buses. So they've been on.
Really?
But yeah,
so there's just a lot of infrastructure investment. I don't know. Again, I can't. The banks, I don't know. Listen, I think if I was a macro guy, I'd be pulling my hair out because the macro is supposed to not be good. So I'm just watching price action. But like some of these stocks that no one follows, like I just said, like that NNI and
it's
education.
a market of stocks, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not take notice of that, right? Obviously, 08, the great financial crisis, these things were zero. Freddie Mae, Fannie Mac. Here's Fair Isaac, Broadridge. Like these are like almost criminal organization. No tech, huge. Where's Broadridge? Moody's.
Or is the same
Jesus Christ. Broadridge. Just type it in. BROAD. BROAD. BROAD.
Yeah.
ADA. BR.
Nothing showing up, Howard. I don't know.
BR, Broadridge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which one of them? We have
Broadridge, BR, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, these guys basically control like proxy statements and blah, 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 whether it's, so again, there's just a lot of old world, boring infrastructure, behind the scenes play, and all the sexy software stocks are disrupting themselves and cannibalizing themselves. That's why kind of Google continues to execute, because they can just launch a lot of this stuff in the world of AI. And so I think there's a lot of tech investors trapped in the wrong, what worked playbook, which is, sales growth, everything. And I think the world is looking for profits in a 7% interest rate world and more sure things, and value continues to win. Again, I don't know if that continues, but it's been kind of a 1 year, 2 year trend now. And I think my proxy is just, I'm checking Google at the end of the day, Goldman, Google, and gold to kind of see with the side of energy.
Yeah.
And then the biotechs. Again, I think they're the big benefactors for the human race. And, while everybody's building software and apps, I think, a lot of the institutional money is going to flip over to healthcare.
Yeah. But even you on the private side, you haven't been just doing only tech software investments. You've been, branching out into other.
Yeah, I mean,
sectors,
we believe emails, continues to be the best way to deliver. Email's still the best, way to talk to your customers, not social. So I think there's, it's not broken. So we've had huge success, and we're tripling down on email products and email verticals and, simple businesses. I've been writing about this for a couple of years. Business first. So it takes us kind of out of what we were doing for 10 years, which is, worry about the business later. I think with interest rates where we are in the world shrinking, I think you have to think about how little money could I take to get to a business, and then how inexpensive or how organic can I get to build my business? Because you're just not going to be able to raise the type of money and pay what you've been paying for people and build a team like remotely and expect everything to work out perfectly. I think the playbook's changed. I think the market's been telling you that for 6 months. Things can change, of course, but there's just such rich valuations, and it doesn't mean the market has to crash. We've had serious pullback in tech, a lot of tech. From
Yeah, in
Apple
2022
to
was
software.
pretty significant,
Yeah,
pullback.
but a lot of the software stocks have not even come back. So, and if we look at Cathie Woods, right, like she tried to beat the market. She put all her eggs into that, and she's kind of the poster child for owning the last cycle's winners, which have become this cycle's losers because they didn't transition to profits. And I think, the QQQ versus ARK, I don't know if we can share it, but I mean, it just kind of,
it looks ridiculous to me. Like, she still doesn't own NVIDIA, as far as I know, which is completely ridiculous. How can you be an innovation ETF and not own NVIDIA, basically the
and Google
engine
those aren't
behind the AI? It's just very funny to me. But
I think
she's doing great for herself. She's a great marketer, so she won in a different kind of way.
And then there's a bunch of new kids on the block. I was saying, I just pull up the IPO. What's his name? Did a SPAC, and he got it out. OKTO. I think that's the kid from. OKTO. It's OKLO. OKLO. This is a nuclear play by Sam Altman, who did. These are the new. I don't know. These are the new overlords. Sam is getting in the energy game. Raised 300 million.
So it used to be a SPAC, and now it's below its $10.
Yeah, it's down 50% the first day of trade. But again, clean, reliable, affordable energy is where Sam is spending his time. That's where Elon is spending his time. Energy might be the new tech, or at least,
well, you need the energy.
Be very careful. Yeah,
those data centers. So
so you need energy, you need repurposing, you need infrastructure, power, equipment. What was it? NVIDIA's bought more cable than it's just crazy. Some of the boring things that they have to buy to make everything work. So the S&P could be why the S&P is kind of outperforming.
Yeah, I mean, just because there are so many sectors participating, it's not just tech. So
I mean, that S&P chart on a monthly looks fantastic.
This is weekly.
Weekly, but monthly too.
Monthly is looking good,
yeah. So the bears are upside down because I think they assumed a tech or software pullback would be the end of the market, and the S&P saying that earnings matter. And that's the bears.
I mean, definitely it's a weird market. You have Starbucks that is making multi-year lows here, and then at the same time you have Dutch Brothers breaking out, after earnings.
Well, Dutch Brothers is kind of an experience for young people, and they specialize in these fancy drinks, whereas Starbucks, their mobile product's so good, it kind of wrecked the experience of the community of being in a store. So, be careful what you wish for. But this is a Middle Eastern play. I think the food sucks at Cava, so
I agree, but the stock is doing great. I mean, I'm just showing you so many restaurant stocks have been just doing so well. Shake Shack, Cava,
they're just breaking into Canada. Okay, so a lot to look at. I'd just be very careful. But look, and let's just check in on China, which I got long, KWEB and CQQQ.
Okay, KWEB.
Yeah,
it's just consolidating so far.
It's consolidating, but I feel like I shared a chart where the S&P is at 50-year highs versus, or the QQQ is at 50, the NASDAQ's at 50-year highs versus China. And
Yeah.
so I thought that was interesting, you know, and relative strength wise, China's been much stronger the last few months than the US. So there's still many ways to play tech. You just have to dig a little deeper. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. ANET is another one that continues to lead. ANET, Arista Networks.
Oh, on that, yeah, I know
No,
this one. Yeah,
yeah, no one talks about it. What is it? $100 billion company, just crushing. What other stocks that I'm watching? RDNT, RadNet.
Yeah, broke out. Yeah,
Broke out to new all-time. So I'm just watching the all-time high list and learning new names,
yeah.
right? That's a good
There
thing.
is a
When you
lot to
don't
choose
see,
from. Yeah,
there's a lot to choose from. What else was I going to say? Coupang, which is the Korean internet, looks good.
yeah. The Korean Amazon. I mean, the earnings were not that great, obviously, but it's holding that gap. When they announced that they're increasing their, like, the alternative to like Amazon Prime, think the annual fee that they charge customers. That's the gap
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, another one, Fabrinet, FN.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, look at these things. Look at the weekly. These was a country switches. Boring. No one's ever heard of it. So I think we're in the year of, if I haven't heard of it, it's interesting. If I have heard of it, doesn't mean it's not going to do well. It's just, if you've heard of it at this point, everybody's heard of it. So
But
be
how many people
careful.
own it? Like a $200 stock, probably most people don't own it.
Few. Everybody owns penny stocks. I'm trying to think if there's anything else out here that
There's a
looks
lot covered.
interesting to
You
me.
just cannot
Yeah.
cover everything.
Yep. All right, everybody. Hopefully we shared some good ideas for you. Ivan, have a great week.
You too, Howard.
See you, everybody.
All
See
right.
you.
Bye.
Bye.